Hi heathens! Today's video is going to be, like, it is going to be a get ready with me, but it's going to be it's going to be me trying to give like a few products second chances and trying to get certain products to work for me a little bit better. So we're going to start with eyes like I normally do, and we are going to be using an eye primer and going in with one of the Tarte wardrobe palettes. What is this one? This is the Gilded palette, because when I used these the first time, I wasn't like crazy impressed. It's a really nice color story, and I don't really know what exactly went wrong, but it just was not working for me. But I want to give it another chance. So that's the eyeshadow that we're going to be using today. And I have misplaced the mirror that I usually use. So instead we're using this little leopard one that I got from Dollar Tree like years ago. Let me let in a little more, because I want this to be, natural lighting video as much as I can. Because I just feel like I like those better anyway. Like I said before, that's how I get ready when I'm doing my makeup in here off camera anyway, if I can. Obviously, if for some reason I'm doing it at like 9 o'clock at night, I'm not using natural lighting, but you know what I mean. But I've got this, and then I've got, for anyone who watched my BoxyCharm video, that cream bronzer that I want to give another shot and put under a foundation and kind of see what happens there. And then the other products we're going to select as we go, because I don't really have, like off the top of my head, a highlighter or a blush that haven't been cooperating the way that some of these products haven't been. So we'll kind of feel the vibe as that moment comes. So in this palette, I'm going to start off with the shade Adorn to set, and then tap down here into Rhythm, and I think go into Modern from there, and then I will decide what shimmer I want to use. So I'm going to tap first into Adorn, which is that like super light shade. And we're just going to use this to set down that eye primer. Because I can't imagine these palettes are actually as bad as I kind of felt like they were that first time around, because otherwise why would they keep making eyeshadow? You know what I mean? Like, they're a pretty decent higher end brand, and I don't hear people talking about, I'm tapping into Rhythm now, how they have bad eyeshadows. Ooh, a lot of kickback on that shade. Just something to be mindful of. So I feel like maybe I was doing something wrong, or I don't know. Like I said, I had one of the Rainforest the Sea palettes before, and I didn't dislike it. I just never reached for it because there was only like one matte shade. Okay, so far I'm not mad. Let's do this other eye. A lot of kickback on that shade. You gotta be really careful about that. I don't care about kickback normally, but this is one of those shades that if you weren't careful after using it like 10 times, you'd have like a little crevice in the middle of it from where the kickback was just pulling it up out of the pan. Okay. So far, so good. I'm going to switch to a different brush so I can have a little more preciseness, and I'm going to tap into that Modern shade, which is a shimmer, but it's also a matte. And focus that just on the outer half of the eye. Sorry about cat. We have some attitude going on here this morning, it seems. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I want to even out where it's coming across. Yeah, this is a much better experience than the first time. And I'm not 100% sure why, but still not perfect right there. Like, we've still got a little bit of patchiness, but it's not bad. Whereas before, I almost couldn't stand to have it on. Like, the palette in general. Because it was just so patchy right over on the edge. For some reason, I'm not getting as much on this eye as I did on the last one. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I say right after saying that this is not as bad an experience. But I feel like somehow that's me doing it. Because see, I'm getting it up in the crease fine. Just not on that edge the same way. Okay, I'm going to bring this one down a little further in because I did with that one. Okay, so this is what we're looking at with that darkest shade added in. Darkest shade added into this, and then I'm going to go in with Vintage for my shimmer. I'm going to use my finger because that's what I do for shimmers. Ooh, that one's nice. Yeah, this is like a nice smoky eye. Ooh, I hope the rest of the makeup goes like this, because that was just easy. I thought I was gonna fight with this palette a little bit more, just based on first experiences. Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. I am going to put something on my lips, because they are dry and chapped, and they just need something real quick. And then we're going to go in with that bronzer. So, the bronzer in question is the LYS... What are they called? I guess it's the No Limits bronzer, and I have the shade Motivate. Which is the light shade. Where did I literally just put my mirror? Behind me. So, I'm going to try to put it, like, down the sides of my face where bronzer should go, but I'm going to do one side at a time, because last time I used this, it felt like it started to dry down a little bit quickly. I'm not going to do it as heavy as I did the first time. It's looking oddly orange in this light. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But I'm just going to go in and try to blend it up and out. If anyone has a recommendation for a good, affordable bronzer brush, like specifically for bronzer, or that you use for bronzer, please let me know, because I feel like I need a more tightly packed brush for bronzer, or at least for bronzer like this. Like powder bronzer, fine. But for a bronzer like this, I feel like I need something a little more dense to properly blend it out. And I don't know kind of where to start with that. Because I don't... this is the first cream bronzer that I've ever used. So I've never, like, gone out of my way to look for one. Didn't get this cheek quite as much, so I'm going to add a little bit more once I blend that out. A little bit more real quick. Because this one, I got much heavier. Okay, that should be fine with what was already on there. And this is obviously going to wind up much darker than I would normally have it, but that's because I'm going to be putting foundation over the top. I'm going to feel a weird face. I feel like product blends out better when you make weird faces. Okay, so for the foundation that I'm going to be using, we have classic. This is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Face Tape Foundation, and I have mine in the shade 12N, which is Fair Neutral. And it does have a pump, so we're just going to take it and get a little bit just over a full pump on the back of my hand. It's not like a full watery foundation, but it does have a little bit of wiggle. So I'm just going to do like I would normally do, and we're just going to pat this over my face, paying a little extra attention to the areas over the bronzer, because I don't want to drown it out, but I want to make sure that it's like covered. I need to, oh my gosh, I need to start using this foundation again, because I actually really like this foundation. And I never reach for it, because that's the only problem with having my drawers, is I'm a very out of sight, out of mind person. And so when foundations sit in my drawer over here, which is, you know, where they get put up so that they're not just all over the place, because I don't have room for things to be all over the place. Unless I'm specifically going into the drawer or for some reason thinking about a specific foundation, I kind of forget I have it. I kind of forget it exists. And it kind of sucks, because then I go back in the drawer and I'm like, oh, I haven't used this in forever. It's like, that's because I forgot it was there. And I don't know if anyone else has that issue. Well, I mean, I know other people do. It's a weird object permanence thing that apparently is associated mostly with ADHD, but it's very awkward. I'm going to tap into some of the foundation that's on the back of my hand to help on this side. But I'm like that with everything, which is why I switched my clothes to being in like cubbies rather than dressers, because then I can see them. My only issue with that is I have stuff in the floor in front of my closet, on the floor in front of my closet, and so it makes me never go in my closet, and so all those clothes get ignored, because unless I'm specifically thinking about them, they don't exist. Okay, usually this is a foundation that I don't have to set, but we're gonna double check. Something about this cheek recently has just had foundation sitting on it so weird, and it doesn't matter what foundation I'm using. I don't know if that'll pick up at all, but it's just this weird little patch. Otherwise, I like this foundation, and I think you can still, at least a little bit, see the bronzer through it. So that'll work. Now, I'm going to, like I said, I don't, off the top of my head, have a blush that like doesn't work. I do want to try, if you've tried them, let me know your thoughts, because I do want to try one of the blush sticks from ColourPop. I think they look really nice. So for the time being, I'm just going to take this, which is the ColourPop and Hello Kitty Island Shine blush, and that's what we're going to use. I have a little drop of foundation still in my hand. That could have been very dangerous. And I'm just going to take my normal blush brush, go in, this is a very, very pink blush, but if you go in lightly, it's not like too overpowering, if that makes sense. Like, you can make this heavy and like super, super deep slash hot pink, but If you use just a little bit, it's not too much. Because I feel like when I use too much, especially if it's pink, I get very clown-esque. And I think it's because I have a natural flush, and so it just looks way too over-exaggerated in the first place. At least to me, because I know what my face normally looks like. I hate that. Every time I put on foundation, I get an itch right around my nose. And I know it's just to mess up the foundation. Okay, let me reach back here and find a highlighter. Maybe one that I haven't reached for in a while. Oh, this is a good one. This is the Ofra and Madison Miller highlighter in Moondance. And I haven't reached for this one in a while, but I really like this one. Let's get a mirror, because these don't have mirrors. I'm just going to take my big fluffy highlight brush. So I haven't heard a lot about Ofra since their last controversy. And I feel like that really kind of like made them die back a little bit. Or dial back a little bit. They did not die. But I'm wondering if they're going to be like making a big comeback. Because I know there's more people than not that still love and reach for their highlighters regularly. And they definitely have, in my opinion, one of the best, like, high-end highlighter formulas that I've tried. Like, just, I mean, you can't say that it's not incredible if that's the kind of highlight that you like. You know what I mean? Because everyone likes something a little different. So definitely for the people that aren't into a more prominent highlighter, probably won't like them. But I am. We're going to go in with mascara. We already know what it is, so I'm not even going to say it this time. I am going to do top and bottom during this look, because I'm not putting any shadow on the bottom lashes, or bottom lash line. Why was that so hard for me to come up with? I'm gonna try today, wish me luck, because it'll probably be like a week or two long project, to sit down and calculate how many of each clothing item that I have, and then go from there on what I think is a reasonable amount of them to keep, which would probably be the equivalent of like 2/3 or 3/4 depending on how many I have. So like, for example, if I have 20 regular graphic t-shirts, maybe I'll decide I only need to keep like 13 or 15, and then that way I can help narrow down which ones I'm more willing to part with. Because I have so many clothes and I just need to minimize, and I feel like I'm saying this literally every video that I film on the weekend, and it's because I procrastinate so badly that I've been talking about this for like 4 months. And while I have gotten rid of some stuff, don't get me wrong, it has not been the amount that I was hoping yet. So there's still more work that needs to be done. I'm gonna put this palette back so that I can reach over here and try to find my little freckle pin. This is the ColourPop freckle pin in soft brown. I'm just gonna do just a little handful right over my cheeks and my nose today. I know I said this, but I've been spending some more time outside because of that amazing hammock chair. And the other day I was thinking about it and I was like, huh, I wonder if I'm going to wind up actually getting more freckles now that I'm spending some more time outside. Because that's usually what, you know, causes them. And since I don't have that many, I wonder if they're going to start just popping up. Okay, now I need a lip product other than... No, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with the balm because with my lips being this chapped, we're gonna go in with setting spray. Strawberry kiwi. Such a nice setting spray. If y'all have not tried the Apocalyptic Beauty setting sprays, do. Because not only are they great setting sprays, but they smell incredible. Anyway, show you a close-up of today's look. If we're gonna clear up, are we? Hello? I don't know what's been doing that to me lately. Close-up of the eyes. And that's it. This is my look for today. I am now about to eat lunch and then try to get some cleaning done. So if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, subscribe to see more of my content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.